Okay, well, today is 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. I'm not going to work on my patriotic locomotive there, but I am going to work on a really cool little caboose that I picked up. I got I think the deal was at the train show or the model train show, buy 10 cars or 5 cars and you get a free caboose. Well, I think I bought like 50 of them and I got 5 or 6 or whatever, however many cabooses. And this is one of my favorites. It's a Pennsylvania, see there? And it's got it's like a toolbox that hangs down here. Here's the frame it goes on right there. And of course, it has plastic trucks that has metal axles on the wheels. But you know, it's a inexpensive little car, or inexpensive little caboose, and I'm gonna weather it up a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. And I'm gonna use some paints that I picked up. They're really cheap paints. You get them anywhere, big box stores or some artist stores or whatever. And I mixed up my own dust color looking stuff. That'll go on last. First off though, we're gonna paint on a little bit of heavy dirt. Put this along the seams and on the wheels and things like that, the truck covers and all that. And I'm going to use a brush like this because, well, little brushes tend to work better than big brushes, unless I'm covering like an entire locomotive with one color, which I'm not going to be doing that. And I got some water here, so put that way I can clean my brush out and all that. So anyway, let me shake this up real good. You want to make sure that the pigments in the paint are floating around in there, you know, getting their jollies. So move this out of the way. I'm going to paint this up a little bit first with this darker color, and then I'll paint it with a little bit lighter color, so that I may wind up having to thin this out a little bit more. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see here in a minute. Anyway, here goes. Now again, this is the darker color, and it's gonna streak and do whatever on the paint. This isn't perfect. Getting dirty isn't perfect, unless that's what you're aiming for. Then it's perfect. Oh, knocked out my little train there. And you can use the thicker stuff to cover in places like that. See that the paint really doesn't want to stick in, but really I'm just kind of wanting it to wash over it a little bit. And again, like I said, this is just a covering. It's not going to, and when it dries, it'll be a lot less obtrusive, a covering, whatever. Yeah, let's see. This is just basically like dirt that gets on the rail cars and things like that over the years.
But they're not used, or they're used and they're not clean. I'm thinking about cutting some pieces of plastic, clear plastic or whatever, to fill in the windows. I'm thinking about doing that. And if I do that, then I'll go back later on and paint the black around the window seals, and then I'll glue the clear plastic windows in from the inside. And then, that way it'll look like it has black cotton seals around it. Seals? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, get some more of this. And And this is, like I said, this is just like a wash. It's not going to cover up anything. It may highlight a lot of things that you don't want to be highlighted, but it's going to do it. So make sure before you go, my change is split on there. So make sure before you go spread it on anywhere that that's what you want it to do. And again, like I said, this will dry a whole lot lighter than what it is right now. It's not going to be as obtrusive as it is being right now. And then later on, after I get done with this darker color, I will go back and paint over it real quickly with an even thinner coat of my dust there, which will, when it dries, it'll look like it's been out in the dust, or should look like it's been out in the dust. Again, this is just a cheap way of doing something, and if you're, damn near blind like I am, well, it looks really good. But if you're really a stickler about detail and stuff like that, well, it's probably not going to do you any good, because you're going to want to use oils and whatever. But anyway, that's your problem, not mine. So, put all this in here like this. And like I said, oh wow, I didn't notice that, but there's a lamp right there. Ha! Oh, if that, curtail my activities on that, or at least I'm going to have to go back later on and try to do something with that lamp. Highlight it or something. And basically, this is like the rains come down and it's, carried dust with it, dirt with it, and everything else. The wind blew, and the rain came down, and great was its fall. So anyway, yeah, so there you go. That's one side. And again, like I said, it's already started drying up on top there, and it looks like it's been in the weather, more or less. There's another lamp right there. We'll have to go look at these again later on. And you don't want each side to be perfectly the same as the other side, because after all, there's two different sides, So one side make it dirtier than the other side? I don't know. Maybe that's how you want it. Maybe you don't want it that way. That's up to you. It's like having little happy trees out there. Who knows, Bob Ross? It's cool. So this is basically all it's going to do. And I plan on maybe mixing up a darker color, really thin black, and put it around the chimney thing here. So that kind of looks like soot has, accumulated down there, which it did. I've seen old cabooses in some of the museums, and they have soot around the chimneys, just like a house would. Pardon me. Sounds like one of my cars is off the track over there. Yes, you even should do under the roofing there. After all, the car's out of the dirt, so it's going to get dirty, though.
There are little handrails and ladders that go on the end of this. Once I put it back together on the frame. So now, kind of want to cover up where my fingers are on the top of that. And we'll set this over here to dry for a little bit. Let's do these wheels. And I don't worry about getting the paint on the wheels themselves, on the traction side, where that part is. I don't worry too much about that because this is water-based paint, and in my humble opinion, it's going to be wearing off anyway. And I run my track cleaning car. I pull it around all the time behind my big U33C, which is sitting over there. right over there. But anyway, yeah, I keep the track clean as I possibly can. Sometimes, I also even have an old Tyco rail cleaner. It's some kind of, I don't know, where is it sitting at? Oh, it's over there on the corner. Some kind of yard machine, that yard maintenance machine that they use
to check track level and all that kind of stuff. I'll show you here in just a second. Let me get this done so I don't lose where I'm at. I'm not bad about that. I get distracted quite easy. Okay, there's that. And the Tyco things over here. See this little doohickey here? It's pretty cool. You pull this off, fill it full of alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and it links to, or maybe it's one of these, I don't know, maybe that one. But anyway, you take one of those off, fill it full of alcohol. I haven't used it all that much because the rubber traction tires that goes on this part right here that drives it, well, they just crumbled apart. I mean, this thing's probably 40 years old. But anyway, when it did work, it worked good. It went around the track, cleaning off the tarnish and stuff on the track. It was pretty cool. And as soon as I can get more of the traction tires, I'll start using it again. In the meantime, I just drag my car around. That does it normally. Uh-oh. My caboose on this side has jump track back there. Anyway, okay. So yeah, letting this dry. This will be good. Whoops. I'll put this back on there. And then once I do that, then I'll use this little bit of a lighter color. This here, dust. And this is really, really thinned out. And I'll just splash it along the seams, along the edges and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like this dust run down on it, or has been accumulated on it. Probably won't do it on this so much. But anyway, let me stop this right here and I'll come back as soon as that's dried a little bit. And we'll finish this up.
Alright. Okay, I went ahead and put the body on there. I had to add a weight to the frame because these things are really, really light. But anyway, now I'm going to put the ladders and the brake wheels back on. These came off there 100 years ago. No, not really. Anyway, yeah, let's see. It's supposed to go. Oh, no. What is it supposed to do? Well, I'll be damned. I know damn well these come off there. But it's supposed to go here. Well, is this the wrong set? Because I had 3 sets. I probably grabbed the wrong damn set. Isn't that just great? Let me go look and see if I've grabbed the wrong set. This one over here. I'm not sure what the hell is going on here, but anyway, I guess I'll leave these off. Oh, why the hell would it be that way? I mean, that's where it's supposed to go, but I guess maybe the wheel does go on the inside. Anyway, I'm just gonna do it. Oh, it'd be easier that way. That way they can step up there and turn the wheel if they need to lock the brakes down. That's what we like. All right, so they have 2 little things here on the bottom, and those go in 2 little slots here on the frame. These 2 prongs on top of the ladder, they go into 2 little clips up here on the body itself. So, and it's held in there pretty secure. Now what I'll do is I'll take some of my lighter dust color and do the ladders and things like that. Maybe splash a little on the
body itself. Yeah, I thought about using burnt umber for rust and stuff like that, but I'm not much on the rust. But it's my railroad. I can do as I please. Just as you can have your railroad and do as you please. It's not hard to do. This isn't hard to do at all. And these paints probably cost, well, when I bought them years ago, when I say years, I mean like 3-4 years ago, they were probably $1.25 a piece at the local big box store. And of course then I thin them down to use them the way I want to use them. I even used them in an airbrush for a while. But then the airbrush that I bought, the seals in it broke or went bad. So, needless to say, I don't use it anymore. I'm just going to touch a few places around here with this dust. Maybe get a little bit on the roof. And like I said, when this stuff dries, it'll be a lot less obtrusive. Now, what I have done before is when I've thinned out these paints, I've also, using the stuff to thin them out, which is basically tap water, I've also put a drop, every now and then I'll put a drop of dish detergent in there, and it helps break it up so that it flows smoother. And this is basically just a layering technique. And you can do the same thing with rust colors and make it look like your fleet of cars is. That caboose keeps coming off right there. Then it gets back on. Oh, that's crazy. I just fixed that. Y'all seen it. I fixed that. And it made that caboose jump back on the track. Okay. Whatever. And as soon as I get done doing this, and this dries a little bit, I'm going to hook it up to that train that's running around and let it drive around the track for a while. Let this dry, and I'm not quite done. I'll mix up some black looking soot stuff and come back and do that a little bit. But this should look like it's been out in the desert or out in the dust, dirt, whatever, and just hadn't been washed in a long time. Anyway, let's let this dry, and I'll be back in just a second.
Alrighty, let's bring my GP7 289, that's the short nose, bring it into stop here, and we'll disconnect the caboose that's on it and hook this one that I just painted up to it. I'm not going to paint this one just yet, but this is also one of my favorites. It disconnected itself, so that's good. Stop it right there. And here's, this also needs weight in it. This is just extremely light, but I do like these. I like cabooses. And I know nowadays, most trains that I've seen, they're not pulling a caboose. But in my mind, it ain't a train unless it's got a caboose on it. And that's just me. You, on the other hand, may not think so. That's your problem, not mine. Okay. So, here we go. This is a bad boy up to it. Now, let's see, can you see how well that kind of looks like it's got weathering on it, dirt, whatever. Here, let's move this. Dirt on it, and the more that dries, the more it's gonna, show through and be not as bad. But I like that. That's pretty cool. And yeah, I could do it with burnt umber and like a rust to show it rust and all. Let me stop this, and I'll start the train back up and get a few shots of it running by. There we go from this side. And I plan on weathering all my coal cars here. There's that part of it. Still not quite dry yet. And you can take a wet brush if it's too obtrusive, because these are acrylics. You can take a wet brush or a wet cotton swab, and you can remove some of that dirt if you want. Weathering, I guess you could say, if you want. Anyway, that's how I usually weather things. I haven't really done any of my locomotives yet. I mean, I think I did one of my smaller steam locomotives. And there she is. Yeah, so that's pretty good. I like that. You probably may want to do differently. That's up to you. It's your railroad. But that's my thoughts on track right now. Ta-ta for now.